Now in the last part we developed a wipe script that would erase disks that were external to the computer. It won't wipe its own system disk because obviously that would self-destruct. And to wipe any disk on a computer, we're going to have to boot into the PXE environment, run everything in memory, and then we can erase any disk that's visible. So to develop that image, we're going to use debootstrap and chroot. These are two very well established applications in Linux, and the first thing to do is actually install debootstrap. So let's do that. Doesn't take very long. There we are. Now it's finished. So what we'll do now is have a look at what it's done. And in the file system, use a share. It's created this, and in here are scripts which allow it to install any Linux distribution you want. Now, one of my favorites was Bionic. There's Bionic. The one that this system is running is Focal. So to make it simple, we're just going to install Focal. We're just going to use Focal. To find out what system you're actually using, because this does have an impact on the Linux kernel, we'll just have a look and see what we're running. So, oops, what's happening there? So you can see we're running Linux Mint. This is the operating system we installed to develop the wipe scripts, and the Ubuntu code name is Focal. So that's the one that we'll install. It keeps it simple because then the kernel and everything matches. If you do want to install Bionic or something earlier, the Bionic's based on the Linux image 4.15. Focal is the next version, 5.4 or something. It does turn out to be slightly smaller, and you know, there are other advantages. But keep it simple, we're just going to use Focal. Okay. So I'll create a directory for it. Call it image, maybe. CD to it. And now we're going to run debootstrap. Now we're going to use a 64-bit version. 32-bit sort of is available. The variant is key because we're going to use minbase, which is the smallest image that would basically just run scripts, run bash shells, things like that. It doesn't have a GUI, which keeps the size down massively, so it is the minimum. It actually doesn't have everything in it. We will have to load more applications. As I said, we're going to use Focal, and it's going to create a directory called chroot, which is going to be, chroot stands for change root, and if we change root into that, we'll see a complete operating system, you know, with all the files and everything that will be used for the image that we push into PXE. So we just run that. It does take a while, so I think I'll just pause. So that's it finished. So let's see what it's done. Created a directory called chroot. Now chroot is obviously available from externally, but you have to be root to access it. You can read it, but to make any changes to it, which we will have to do, we have to become root. So basically we'll open it as root, type in the password, screen goes red. And what you see looks like the root file system of any Linux. It's got its own bin, its own etc, its own dev, and a few things like that. And it's completely separate from the host operating system, so it's a bit like a virtual machine. To be able to use chroot, it does use the existing kernel on this system. We have to set it up, and in here there's a mount for chroot, an unmount, and also a build. And we're going to copy those files. These are going to be available in the comments. So we're going to copy these into here, and then run mount. So I'm going to have to use sudo. Okay, so it's mounted. It's mounted proc, sysdev, and devpts. This is necessary to make the chroot environment work. So let's go into chroot, and you get in there by using the application called chroot, and the directory is also called chroot. Got to spell it right. There we go. And now you can see we're sort of in a jail. All we can see in here is the new root that we've just created with deboot. And this is the minbase system, but for instance, if we have a look in bin, we'll find a lot of applications, but not all of them. The critical one that might be missing, well, I know it is actually, is hdpalm, which we use to erase the disk. Can't be found, so we're going to have to install some things that we need to get the system running and operating the scripts. So next time we'll build out this environment, create an image, and boot it from a USB.